Hi, I'm Mike Levin, CEO of Harlem Lacrosse. Welcome to Mondays with Mike, a series of conversations with members of the Harlem Lacrosse family and thought leaders in lacrosse, education, and youth development. We'll discuss the strides we're making every single day towards equity and diversity in lacrosse and education, the opportunity gaps and challenges we're working through, and why the future of our student athletes and the sport we love is brighter because of Harlem Lacrosse. To start, if we could just if you could talk about how Harlem Lacrosse came into your life and what that was like from your perspective as a mom.
As a mother, I could say that Harlem Lacrosse was a godsend because when he first started, he came home, "Oh, mom, I'm going to start playing lacrosse," because he was very young at that time. And I'm like, "What? Lacrosse? I never heard you talk about lacrosse." And I was like, "Well, okay, what do I have to do?" He was like, "Nothing. We do it at school." I was like, "Okay, well, they have equipment. I have to buy you something." He said, "No, they gave me everything." And I was like, "What? I don't have to do anything? I don't have to buy anything, and it's holding your interest." So those were all pluses.
I'm wondering if you could characterize Armand, just before he started Harlem Lacrosse. Like, what was he like as a student? What was he like socially? What was he like around the house? Just help us understand where he was at the start of his Harlem Lacrosse journey.
Okay, so Armand was typical young boy. I think he was about 10 years old when he got involved with Harlem Lacrosse. Just all over the place, unfocused, not very focused on academics, more so just focused on enjoying life, having fun. It was just more of a struggle. But once lacrosse came into the mix, it became like a extra parenting tool. Oh no, lacrosse! If you don't get these A, B, and C things done, and that was like the only thing that I could use because Armand is so easygoing, so nonchalant, so carefree. It was really kind of hard to discipline him because he just really didn't take very much seriously. He was kind of getting behind and not focused. And mid semester, he came home and he was like, "Mom," and he was like, "Yeah, I spoke to a senior at school, and he said that he's been on the lacrosse team for 4 years, but this is the first year that he's eligible to play because he was just so unfocused and not taking his academics seriously." He was like, "I don't want that to be me." And from then, I didn't have a problem. Like he made sure he had his GPA right. He was eligible to play, and um, there he was very successful.
Was that normal for Armand to come home and say, I want to do something like this? There's an opportunity at school and I'm going to sign up.
So he before lacrosse came into his life, very active. He would always um, do something or want to do something actively. However, when Harlem came into the picture, when lacrosse came in, it just kind of took over his whole life. There, you could tell the shift in him because it gave him focus. And prior to that, I mean, he was always into sports, but you could tell right off the bat that lacrosse was like a passion for him because it took over everything. And all the staff that I met initially, well, I will say this as a parent, giving my kid over to a group of people who I don't know, everyone that I've met within the Harlem um, umbrella in the agency or in organization has been amazing. I mean, even past and present Harlem, I I can't say enough about how I just trust. It's a trusting process, and I have no regrets for allowing Armand to get involved into this and with your organization. When I got sick, and I couldn't travel to Utah. I think the travel team was going to Utah, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not gonna be there," and I just felt so bad. And Coach Alicia looked at me and she was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm just a little sad." She said, "You know what? I'm gonna go." She said, "I wasn't gonna go, but I'm gonna go just so I can help keep an eye on Armand." And I was like, "What?" Oh, that brought tears to my eyes because it was just like the Harlem family wrapping their arms around me and my family at a time when we really needed it. So all that they've done for Armand and then extending it out to me as well. So I became cancer free. Then I relapsed, and when Coach Keith found out about it, he was like, "What?" He went on a mission. He was on it, and then maybe a month or so later, he was like, "Okay, we're taking tuition off the plate. You don't have to worry about that." It's overwhelming the amount of love that I got through extension from my son because this is a I thought initially a quote unquote after school program that really just turned into family.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's touching. I think I want to show it to every employee because I think it's sometimes when you're describing the job of program director and you're writing the job description, you're telling people what it looks like. This is what you are describing to me is what it is when we are successful. Like this is us doing our job, you know,
right.
and it's just
Ugh,
like it's
am
like
I emotional?
our job is to create a community like that, that we can
Yeah,
create a community around this sport that we love, and lots of people can benefit as we can. We get to meet amazing people like you and Armand, and lacrosse can be a really positive thing. Not It really has nothing to do with the sport. It's about the kinds of people that you can meet and the things that you can learn and the support that can be provided.
I can never say enough great things about Harlem.